Okay, here I am demonstrating differences between some modern sights, and you can see I have an aim point, and then I have a reflex, and then I have one that happens to be of my own design. And I'm going to talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages. And some of these disadvantages are that there's glass there. You're looking at your target through a piece of glass that can get dirty. Some of the disadvantages, of course, is the bulk. Now this could be on a rifle, but on a pistol. And the other disadvantage is that when you bring it up to a target, you can't see anything until you're right in the tube. Now, the same thing is true with the reflex. The reflex comes up, and there's your sight picture. But you can't see it here with either eye. Can't see it here with either eye until you bring it into the tube. Again, it's an axial tube, even though it's not. Plus, when I have that interruption right there, when I'm looking at the target, and I have my eye has to go through that little change, that's a blink. It's an interruption. It's something that affects how much time it takes for you to come up with a target with a sight picture right there. This does get rid of parallax, so no matter where I'm at, if that dot's on there, it shoots. Now, going down to my sight, you'll see that my sight, you see the three dots. And all you're doing is aligning them up with the target that you see, and you never have to take your eyes off the target. See those dots come up into play? You come right down in there, and there you can see your sight picture. And your other eye doesn't see it, whether it's that eye or whether it's this eye, so you don't have any interference with the non-shooting eye. And you can triangulate. So you can tell just because our brain is able to take that red dot and the two greens, and you can bring that up like this, and you can tell where you're going to hit in approximate as opposed to any of those, and you just bring it up slowly, and there you go. Plus, there's no glass, and there's no dependency on batteries. Now, this won't shoot at night as well, as certainly not as well as that. However, tritium, if I replace those dots with tritium, it will shoot just as well. And so what happens when the batteries go dead? Well, you don't even have an option. Now, even knowing that the reflexes are designed really small, but the smaller you go with the reflex, the smaller the tube and the less movement you have. So when you go to shoot, you've got that target and that dot. Well, the smaller you make that piece of glass, the harder it is to get into it. And you don't see it at all until you're in the glass. As opposed to the occluder sight, you see it all the time. You see your target all the time. You never have an interruption. You bring it up to it and you fire. Just that simple. Bring it up, fire. No glass, no batteries, no problem. Plus, it certainly goes better in a holster. And that was one of the big issues that somebody had, is mine wouldn't fit in some of the holsters. Well, it does fit a whole lot easier in a holster than either of those. And even though they've designed the reflex really small so that it just takes up this little bit of room back here, it's still small, and you still don't see the dot until your eye falls into the area of the lens. Whereas again, here there's no lens, there's no tube, there's nothing stopping me from seeing the alignment points until I'm right up there. I see them right up to the target, never have to take my eye off the target, and boom. And I can move it from target to target, boom, 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 and boom. Whereas you take this one, and it's find the red dot. There we go. Red dot. Bang. I got to get over to the target, target, target. And another thing about these is you'll be trained to shoot with both eyes open, because you'll see the diminished imagery when you're looking through the lens as opposed to looking at the target itself. So you have that diminished imagery, and with both eyes open, your one eye will send the dot to the brain, and your other eye will see it there, so it'll virtually place that the dot that you're actually seeing with your shooting eye, your other eye overlaps the two so that you can see that sight. So shooting with both eyes open. Any of these, you can shoot with both eyes open. Easy as pie. This one, both eyes open because the tube itself occludes. On this one, it might as well be a tube even though it's not, because the axial length of the image that you're seeing has an axial length of the barrel. So you don't see it here, you don't see it here, you don't see it at all. Whereas with the occluder, you bring it up and you see it really all the time. You can see it all the way around. You can triangulate in like this, you can come up and then right there and you shoot. So with any practice at all, you can actually shoot from the hip and you can know approximately, because you have those three dots for reference, and you could triangulate and get used to pulling that in. So that's the occluder sight. I am the inventor of the occluder sight, so there could be some prejudice here. But I think there's some obvious differences that you can see, and I hope this video helps you see those differences.